Leading Sydney trainer Peter Snowden is one of the hardest working and most determined horsemen in the country. And he knows what it takes to win the Ladbrokes Caulfield Guineas. His record is remarkable. 3 wins in the space of just 5 years.
To say you're the dominant trainer of the Caulfield Guineas is probably an understatement. You're the king of it.
I don't see it that way. I just think I've been lucky. I've been lucky enough to have the horse and things just gone right of the day and I've got a result. But been a team effort though, even whilst at Darley, Paul's a major part of that as well. And the 2 horses that won whilst the Darley camp with him probably the last 6 or 7 weeks leading up to that Guineas. So as part of it, he had a lot to do with part of those victories. Probably the most pleasing for me was Helmet, because what we went through to get him there and the way he won the race was outstanding. Probably one of the best horses I've had anything to do with. Probably his record doesn't show that. Only won 3 Group 1s he won, but that particular race that day was defining of just how much talent he had. Track record time, and just he did it from the front, the middle and the end. Very courageous effort by a very good horse.
You had your challenges getting him to the post that day?
I did, because not just that day, but it was the weeks leading up to it. It was a bit of look, he was a quite natured horse and a good horse to work with, but he had erratic behaviour at times, not all the times. He's great to work at home and good to handle at home, but race day he did things that were just out of the blue. But I remember leading up to the Guineas, I think he's running the Golden Rose, which we thought he'd run. It was a second up run. It was going to be second up route leading up into a 4-run prep into the Guineas. And that particular day he ran the Golden Rose, he couldn't have done more things wrong if he tried. He missed the start, he ran off the corner, he changed stride, he did 50 things wrong through the race, and I was so disappointed at what he'd done. And I knew how much ability he had, but to see him run where he was running at the time, I think he ran 4th, ran 3rd on protest in the race, but I was just really disappointed with him. So I took him out to a farm at Agnes Banks, and I called it boot camp, because he did jumping every second day for 2 weeks. I worked him hard, but to him working hard, he used to laugh at it, because his aerobic capabilities were outstanding. His evens was another horse's canter. You couldn't knock him up. He was just a tough horse that just thrived. The more work you gave him, the more engaging he became. He eats like no horse could eat. He used to pull up from any work and just was nothing. As I said, it's nothing to him. His aerobic capabilities were enormous.
So with Helmet the head case under control, he went to the post in the 2011 Caulfield Guineas highly fancied. The pressure was on right from the get-go.
They're racing now. Smart Missile jumped out of the stalls well, so did Helmet, and he's being booted forwards.
We had in our minds that we would dictate from the front, because this bloke, he was up front rolling, his mind wasn't thinking. Back in the field, he used to think about things too much, so it was always our intent to be forward. And being positive early, going up the hill, I thought, well, quite positive Glenn Schofield would have sat off us and would have tried to get us late. But I remember the race very distinctly, watching Glenn push out the gates and push forward with us. I said to Karen, don't persevere too long, but we should get the front pretty quickly. Like 400 metres, they're eyeballing each other, and I'm thinking one of them's going to have to pull back here sooner or later. I hope it's me, because they've gone fairly quickly up this hill. And Karen was determined to push on and break Glenn first, and he did, and probably was a winning and defining moment of winning the race, because Glenn came back and sat off us, but only for about 400 metres, and he had another crack at us at the 600 metres. He put the pressure on from there, so they went toe-to-toe from the 600, and the fact that he got the upper hand the last 100 metres, for me it was extremely satisfying. Not only for me, but for the horse, to know what he'd gone through to get to that point and to win as well as he did. To me, that was probably our first Guineas win, but probably my most memorable one. I think if you narrowed 2 races down this defining for colts to make stallions, would be the Golden Slipper and the Guineas. They're 2 races that, if you're lucky enough to get a horse to win both, he's absolutely defined, like a sprinter miler, which is the backbone of all our racing and our breeding. That's what we're about. Australian racing is sprinter milers, and if you win those 2 races, you're guaranteed a stud career, a bound stud. The rewards are going to be there forever. But to win one of them's good enough to get you there, but if you're good enough to win 2, you're a champion.
In 2013, the Darley colours rose to prominence again in the Caulfield Guineas, this time not with a valuable stallion prospect, but instead with a plain bay gelding by the name of Long John.
Yeah, probably fair to say it wasn't a vintage crop either. There were some smart horses there, but they weren't double A grade that you normally get in the Guineas field. So his win was probably, I would put it down more to a very, very good ride. He drew a good gate, and Karen just had in a magic spot, and just quick and nice at the right time, got a break on the corner, and I think the ride won in the race that year.
We drew barrier 1 in the Guineas that year, and I was really lucky enough to get him into a good position. I was able to get one off the fence and into a striking position, or into a position where I was able to go when I want, and I sort of controlled the race and popped out 3 and 4 wide into the corner and probably hit the front a little bit early. I knew Nash, I could hear Nash coming on Divine Calling, the grey horse, trained by Gai Waterhouse, but another strong, willpower from the horse. He was able just to continue galloping on strongly to the line.
Seamus Award running on strongly. Long John in for the fight. Divine Calling can't get to him. Long John really responds and wins it by a half a length. A great victory.
Snowden Racing's most recent and arguably most important Caulfield Guineas win was in 2014, their first Group 1 success after leaving the global racing operation Darley.
On a personal level, shooting to win has to take the cake there. It was our first major Group 1 as a partnership, and that'll always hold a special part in my heart, and obviously Dad's as well.
Jumps pretty well.
Any Group 1's emotional for different reasons, but for us, our first one that day, and he was there. I stayed in Sydney at the race that day for that reason. I wanted him to if he was good enough to get there, I wanted him to soak up that atmosphere in his own right, and he did a good job of doing that. He was all over the papers next day, so it was good for him. He deserved. He's worked as hard as what I have along the way, so to give him his first Group 1 and have it there to himself, that was important for me. At the time as a trainer, I look at every race every day and as a challenge and try and win it. Golden Slippers, they're important, hugely important. That's my race. It was the race I always wanted to win, so I've been lucky enough to win that twice and gone very close to it a couple of times. So it's a race I really like to run well in. But the Guineas, it's there again. It's a stallion-making race. It's a race in the calendar that's so important for a lot of reasons. More so for colts and breeders, which I'm still a big part of here now with James Heron and Henry Field with China Horse Club. They buy a lot of colts, so it's still a very important race for me.
Karen McAvoy's played a pivotal role in your success in the race.
Yeah, well, probably a lot of success in a lot of areas, but look, it was dusty early for our relationship getting going because he'd come from riding in the UK for quite a while. It's a different brand of riding, and I felt Karen was taking a while to adjust to the speed of the races here, and we were locking horns there for a while, but we got to a mutual agreement, and the last 3 or 4 years he rode there, he rode outstandingly, and our wins proved the success that we became. It was a good combination, and we're still together now.